Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, I'm Gary Tanguay. So the Celtics were on a roll going into the break. Bob, they had some defensive breakdowns. They didn't play well against Detroit and lost. But overall, though, a lot of hope, a lot of expectation for the Celtics in the second half. What do you expect? Well,
I hope that what we saw was the start of something very substantive. Now, what they were doing was doing what they should have, we thought they could have and should have been doing all along, which is beating up, win the games you're supposed to win.
Right.
And they weren't winning all the games they were supposed to win in the beginning of the first half of the season, shall we say. Not only are they winning these games for the most part, but they're winning them in utterly convincing fashion. They had the one hiccup against Detroit. I'll give them a mulligan on that. I hope that was a wake-up call or a reality check, whatever, but fine. What we're seeing is, and there's no mystery here, they got whole for the first time all year. All the major components were playing together, which means that Brown and Smart and Tatum and Williams and et cetera, all on the floor at the same time. Al Horford started playing better, and as a group they defended wonderfully well, and as good as any team since the post-Christmas, I believe, with the numbers that bear out. And this is really encouraging. And then on on trading deadline day, Brad Stevens picked up a player that appears to be could be a very significant piece of the puzzle in Derek White, and we like and the rotation's been tightened up to a playoff type of rotation, only with 8 guys, and this team on any given night now can play with anybody if they keep playing that way. Will they keep playing that way? And the other thing is, I'm knocking on some whatever it is here with Robert Williams. He makes a big difference.
Yeah. As well you should knock, because you got no idea from game to game what you're going to get. I mean, you just don't. And whether it's health, but again, yeah, I'm with you. We've said it. I like the Derek White pickup because I think he fits what their biggest need was. He has not shot the ball well since coming over, but I don't think that's a huge deal. I think he's a better shooter than what he's shown. And eventually he's going to get more comfortable in their system, but he moves the ball. He defends. They should be the best defensive team in the league. Honestly, if you throw out White, Smart, Jalen, Tatum, Robert Williams, or Horford, they should be as good as any team in the league defensively. And again, what you need now, get some easy shots. Get guys, again, Derek White does that. He gets guys the ball where they need it.
Well, quite often defense is a choice, right? So when you look at the numbers, they've won 11 out of their last 13. And in those games, they were the number 1 defensive team in the league. Right. Yeah. So, Jeff's right. I mean, while we love Tatum, putting up his 30 or whatever, and we want to see Jalen get his. And even if we go back to before the pandemic, when they were young and they were hungry and they were getting into the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, Bob, there were times they were holding teams to 80 points a game. We haven't seen that in years.
Oh, no. One other significant development here, and that is that Marcus Smart has really acted as a point guard.
Correct.
And I was profoundly skeptical that could ever take place. That he would ever do that. Profoundly skeptical. And I mean, there's games. You would have told me that I'd see the games where he'd take 6 or 7 shots and he wouldn't take silly threes and he would act as an honest to God point guard. If he's doing it just to show everybody up, whatever his reason, fine. He's doing it, and it's really important because you're going to get it from him at the other end. You don't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
So this is a key thing. Will this continue? If it does, suddenly they're a team. All right, I'm going to be the first to say.
Guys, do you think
you don't want to play in the playoffs?
Yeah.
That's the level you want to ascend to right now. The most I can hope for, in my opinion, right now, is to become that team that everybody will say, "Well, we don't want to play them in the playoffs."
Right.
And that's all I'm asking right now.
And that's a team that this city would embrace. Final question on this. I thought about when Jaylen Brown said, "If we don't get this right, that somebody's going to get dealt."
Yeah.
Do you think this team, Bob, went through what Paul Pierce went through before the big 3 got here? Because Pierce thought he was going to be traded in 16 or 17. He thought he was done. He thought he was on his way out the door. And then they brought in KG and they brought in Ray, and he was kind of reborn. Do you think that these players have gone through that, saying, this isn't so bad here?
It might be, well, the one, not Tatum. I don't think he had to worry. But the other 2, of their, young veteran stars, and I do consider Smart a star, probably. Jaylen Brown, I think that's possible. And
if he read my Twitter, he did. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. And Mark and Smart, I think his name's been tossed around so much he could hardly be oblivious to that, I don't think. So I'd have to say that's a very good premise.
They got to get in listen, what they got to do is they probably got to get in the 4 or 5 spot and hope they get Cleveland in the first round. Like if they can do that, they beat Cleveland, then you're playing with house money as far as I'm concerned. If you win a first round playoff series this year with this team, it's been a success. And the best part now is nobody's jumping on Ime Udoka saying he should be fired because they were a month ago. Everybody's like, it was the dumbest thing ever. Like give the guy time and give him a point guard. And like you said, I think the combo of Marcus Smart and Derek White, that combines to one really good point guard. Neither one are natural at it, but together they're both pretty good. And
the one finally, as I remain mystified as to the regression, if you will, of Pritchard and the failure of.
They are what they are.
Well,
Pritchard is what he is, Bob. He's a 15-minute a game backup point guard in the NBA.
Well, all right, but he played better last year, and he played better, and he had a good preseason, and I was really encouraged. Meanwhile,
Bob, remember when Carson Edwards scored like 100 points in the preseason game?
Oh, you mean when he made 8 threes in a quarter? I love that. But I knew that was trouble.
Yes,
I knew that was a mistake.
That was fool's goal. Bob knew that was fool.
That was the biggest. It's the easiest call ever. This ain't real, folks. This isn't real.
Pritchard's fine.
I'm asking you a question. Am I waiting for the proverbial Godot on Neesmith to become the guy who shot 52% in the SEC?
He's going to be a good rotation player, Bob.
Right,
for a playoff team, that's what he should be.
Right. Well,
for now,
he hasn't hit that level yet.
No, can he become more than that event? Like this year, you just want him to be coming off the bench. Pritchard, Grant Williams, one of Horford of Robert Williams, and whom I forget. Pritchard.
Right. In other words, for him to become what Grant Williams has become.
Right. Yeah.
A reliable person about whom we don't ask too much.
Exactly.
From whom we don't ask too much, but a reliable player, right?
That's exactly right. But their bench is solid. Their bench is solid, and their starting 5, to me, it can't match up against anybody, but it certainly improved with Derek White. That's what I will say.
Look, it's a reason to watch. I became frustrated. I was not emotionally invested because I didn't think the players were emotionally invested. And if they are emotionally invested and you get into the playoffs and you get a chance to be, as Bob said, that team you don't want to play, we're all in.
Yeah.
We're all in.
You remember the word I used to describe this team at the outset of the season? And they lived right. They completely fulfilled my feeling about it. And I hope it's all in the rearview mirror now. Annoying. They were an annoying team. And now they're not. Now they're
maybe they hurt us. Maybe Tatum and Brown hurt us a little bit. I think they did. Listen. Those are guys that are looking at social media. They're hearing things, and I wonder if they heard, hey, listen, this team is not fun to watch. They don't look like they like playing with one another, this, that, and the other. And I think we've seen a different Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as well over the last month.
No.
I don't know of anybody who has ever said that they can't hear Bob Bryant.
So the new word I'm leaving you with for them is encouraging. I'm encouraged. I'm not giddy with excitement, but I'm encouraged.
Nobody punches a word, Jeff. Have you noticed this? Nobody punches a word better than Bob.
Without yelling. Without yelling. We get loud. Bob just kind of slides it in.
Word, man. Yeah. Annoying, encouraging. He punches it. On that note, gentlemen, have a good week. We'll talk to you next week.
No punching, Gary.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Okay. No punch.
Yeah.